guys, how's it going? And welcome back to Max Powder Reports. And this time we're bringing you a version 1.2 game. It's Dread Elves versus Empire of Sharnstol. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So let's run through my list very quickly. I'll post it down in the description below as well. So I've got 6 Raptor Knights. I've got 28 Corsairs with a General Dread Prince with the Headman's Axe and Crimson Mail. I've got 14 Tower Guard with the Divine Altar and an Assassin in there. The Assassin's got paired weapons, Nab, the 4-up ward and one of the poisons. I've got Medusa, 2 Yema Dark Acolyte units. I've got 14 Blades of Nabh with a banner musician, I believe. 5 Dark Raiders naked, and then 7 more Raptor Knights. So that's how I set up. Basically, we drop back and forth, and then as soon as you drop those, I don't know what they're called, chicken knights. I knew that I wanted my Corsairs with my General of the Huntsman's Axe straight in there, so I could vanguard them up and be really aggressive and try to get rid of those as soon as possible. As you'll see, we'll look at his list in a bit. So yeah, so I'm going to go first, and that's how, I've got enough movement with this sort of stuff that I can redeploy the Dark Acolytes, I want to keep my Medusa in the woods to not be shot by his Reiters. So, I mean, when you always, there's always a certain amount of uncertainty when you drop first. I feel like I maybe should have played back and forth, but this is the first game I've had in over 3 months, so I'm very rusty, and I'll pre-warn you about it before we get into the game, because there's going to be a lot of mistakes made and you're going to just all shake your head about it. So maybe I should warn you, the Dread Elf book is not bad, it's just I was a terrible player during this game. His deployment. So I don't have his list. We'll have to go through it just really quickly here. You get the gist. It's 5 Reiters, it's 4 Chicken Knights, it's 5 more Reiters, it's 25 Flaggies, it's the Potemobile, it's a big block of 15 Encircle Knights with BSB and a Knight Commander. It's proxied by the Ogre Cannon, but it's actually the distracting of a Potemobile. Then he's got 12 more Knights, but these have got the they've both got the +1 weapon skill, +1 strength upgrade, but these ones have halberds. They're still shields, so they still have a 2-up, so they're a bit more grindy, and 5 more Reiters. So on paper, this is a good matchup for me, because his 2 main combat blocks don't put out a huge amount of damage, but they're obviously very resilient. But I've got 2 toxic breath weapons and a 12-inch lethal strike aura, so if I played this right, they're prime targets for my Dark Acolytes. That's why I take Dark Acolytes for, is the high strength missile to deal with monsters and the breath weapon to deal with chaff for one, but obviously 1-up armor. We'll talk about it quickly here. The idea for this list was to sort of go that MSU route. I feel like and certainly during playing the game, it wasn't quite there. I think I need smaller units and more of them, because the difference between 10 and 14, like with the Tower Guard, I think 2 units of 10, I'd much prefer 2 units of 10 than like 1 unit of 18 or something like that. But anyway, so that's how he deploys. I'm going to get first turn. So the first thing I do, obviously he vanguards his Reiters to just wherever, they're not in any threatening position at the moment, and I go, ooh, those Reiters are blocking those flagellants. I'm going to move these Corsairs up, so his demigryphs have to charge me. And my General with his multiple wound, strength 7 attacks will kill 1, possibly 2. On average, he kills 2 just straight off with his he's hitting on 3s. That's 3 hits. Wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s. That's 6 wounds straight away. The Corsairs have lethal strike, so they'll kill another 1. When it comes to his turn, we'll see that is not the case. I then move my Cold Knights up, Raptor Knights up aggressively, and also use my Dark Acolytes to put them in position to... I really want to get rid of those Reiters on the left so that I can... In my head, this is what I was thinking, that the Corsairs would kill the chicken knights. That would allow me to bring the raptors round and the dark acolytes to the back or through the middle, because they've got so much movement, to threaten those knights and just make a nuisance, because the flagellants are then going to definitely have to come and deal with the corsairs once that big block of chicken knights is done. So the dark acolytes I move up so I can either blast the chicken knights or blast this chaff. I don't really know what I'm doing with the altar side, just move it up to support. My other raptor knights decide to be stupid, which is what always happens to me. Also, I'm stupidity. I always seem to roll 11s or 12s, so it doesn't make a difference if I had leadership 10 or not. I don't know what I'm doing with the dark raiders, so I'm moving behind the hill because I don't really want them to get shot. And if they start to dance around with the riders, they will just get shot, and I feel like I will definitely need them to get the charge later. So magic, I managed to get a breath weapon off, which just kill these riders. And that's just a nice panoramic view of those chicken knights, or wolf knights, coming towards me. I mean, quick mention, he had a great, really nicely painted army, and it's great to have two fully painted armies, because the game just becomes so much more immersive. Even if they're not painted to like a fantastic standard, the pictures here certainly aren't doing it justice at all. What it looked like on the table, unfortunately, because along with being very rusty and not being able to play this game with any tactical knowledge, apparently, I also forgot my camera, so I had to use my phone camera. His turn 1, and he's going to make some charges, and what he does is he goes, "Writers, charge," and I go, "Oh crap." And then, obviously, that's going to allow his flagellants to get in, it's going to allow his demis to get in. And he's also going to be able to maximise the flagellant. Because of the way the charge works, I was thinking if he's got to get the writers in, they've got to maximise to... So one would be sticking out slightly where my general is on the corner, and then that would allow the flagellants to obviously contact and get in. But that's not how it works. Obviously, he can choose how to maximise, which gets the most models in overall. The only thing I was tempted to do was to flee from the chicken knights, and obviously that's going to make me bounce through literally everything, which means they'll be safe, but then he's going to redirect, and then I've got to flee with the warlocks, and then basically it's just going to have this massive cluster of units in the bottom corner. They'd be alive, but there would be a massive, and I guess that's not a bad position to be in, but I was just like, it was a bad mistake on my part. I'm just gonna take it. I think the best thing to do in that situation is to flee, because at least there's some chance of points, of salvaging points, and then it still not leaves me. I mean, I'm all clustered up, but you could try and mitigate that. But anyway, so boom. Those corsairs are so dead. I'm going to lose my general first turn as well. Yep. Another movement, he doesn't move much because the witch has got lethal strike on them, and he doesn't want to be charged by the knights, which is fair enough, because those 7 knights on the charge they'll take out a rank, but then it becomes a grind as well. And obviously I think I grind a bit better than him because I have 3 strength 4 attacks. He moves his Pope Mill to obviously support, and he moves his Riders up. In Magic, I think he just gets reroll to wounds off, which I let, out of all things, I didn't want 5 at ward because those Corsairs are dead anyway, so I needed to make sure that I actually took out some models at the same time. And he's wounded on 2s with most things anyway, so really, reroll to wounds is probably much the lesser evil in that case. Oh yeah, look at that. So, Corsairs, even with lethal strike, only managed to do 1 wound against the chicken knights. I think I kill 5 or 6 of the flagellants, but obviously they get to attack before they die. And then I kill 4 of the Riders, and he does 26 wounds with the reroll to wounds, reroll to hits. Yeah, it's awful. I always love the idea of Vanguard and Corsairs, but the reality is, okay, let's not think about the fact that I decided just to send them forward like lambs to the slaughter. But they're not actually that... if that was Witch Elves, I think they would have done a lot more damage before dying. or Tower Guard, or okay, Legionnaires. We can't really, but the Corsairs, you know, they have this vanguard, which is only really worth it on a big unit because of the points investment, but they're not actually that good in combat. So I want it to work, but certainly I should have just taken like 3 units of Corsairs with handbows instead, because they would have been so much more useful in this game than that big block that's just literally just died. Anyway, so I'm going to flee. He's going to catch me. He's going to pursue with his rider, the last one. He's just going to land right in front. I don't have a picture, but he lands in front of the Cold One Knights, and his demis just reform, and his flagellants then get into my warlocks. Dark Acolytes, sorry. My turn 2. I make some charges here. So I don't know if this is, on retrospect, I think this might have been illegal, but at the time we thought it was an illegal move. I actually charged the Divine Altar out because it's got impact hits and it's got a 4 ward and it's tough 5, and obviously it's hitting the flank of those flagellants. So basically I'm hoping with the impact hits and the extra attacks that I'll actually win combat, which means, because at most he's going to get 5 wounds against those warlocks. He won't get 5 wounds against the warlocks because he's not maximised properly. That's as much as he could maximise. And they've got the 4 ward. So I thought that, you know, this is definitely making the best out of a bad situation. However, I don't know if you can, I know you can charge characters out of a unit, and I was just assuming I could do it with the wagon, but maybe I couldn't. Anyway, let me know if I've cheated there, and if I've cheated, I apologise to my opponent and hold up my hand, and I'll buy you a Mars bar, you know, to make up for it. Raptor Knights on the left, they're going to charge the Reiter, who flees, and then they're going to redirect into the Chicken Knights, who also flee. Yeah, that one's a bit of an interesting one. What would have I done? The problem was the way the Reiter had landed is I was going to get everyone into the Chicken Knights anyway. But I don't think I 6 Raptor Knights versus 4 Chicken Knights, it's a bit touch and go, really, I think. So whether that's right, they've got a gleaming icon, so chances are they will rally, but I don't know about that one. In other movement, what do I do? Let me check the next slide. Oh yes, another movement, so I just move that Medusa up. Obviously those Raptor Knights have failed stupidity again, so they can't do anything, and the Raptor Knights have left. I guess the double fleet has been good because it has stopped them going any further, because if I hit one of them and win, then I'm in his back line with a big unit of knights, which is going to be difficult to get rid of. I don't really move the witches because you know, it's better if he makes a long ball charge at me, I'm quite happy with that because he's got really nowhere to go. I do also think I reform those Tower Guard just to face. So magic, I think I just get a breath weapon off. So with the breath weapon, all the attacks, I think I kill quite a few. I certainly do like another rank, maybe kill 8 or 9. He does maybe 1 or 2 wounds to the altar, and oh no, sorry, with the impact of hits and everything from a breath weapon, I do kill a whole rank. He does 1 wound to the altar, and he does 2 wound to the warlocks, and then I get to reform with the warlocks just to get more attacks. So it's looking good. That's really saved me that combat, that Divine Altar charging out. Empire Style turn 2. He's just going to move his Reiters to Chaff. If you notice, there's a distinct ladder of Chicken Knights. They managed to fail their rerollable 8, so they went off the board. Yeah, you can see them blowing up. Then he moves his Reiter over here just to shoot the Medusa and get in a position to chaff, and moves the Potemobile back to support his 2 big units, because he's got to make sure he's going to get the charge off here against those knights. And so really, considering I lost that big block, not looking too bad at this stage, but you can see one can always make more mistakes during a game. Yeah, magic phase, he managed to get Divine Banishment off. I think he tried to put some buffs on the flagellants. I didn't really want them to go off because I really need to kill them all. And here, yeah, grind some more down. He only managed to do 1 wound each to the units. I mean, the Fort Ward's fantastic. Obviously, he's lost Hatred, which makes a big help, because basically hitting on 4s halves all your hits. So even if you've got 20 attacks, goes to 10, or 10 goes to 5. So it's been very helpful. And obviously the warlocks have a small footprint, but still put out quite a bit of damage with the 2 attacks through with the champ. So that's quite pleasing. Dread Elves turn 3. So I charged for Raptor Knights into his Reiters. They managed to actually shoot one of my Dark Riders, by the way, so he turned them, so they were facing backwards. So the idea was that he would panic them. I mean, luckily, which was good because he didn't want them to chaff up those knights, which is what I would have done, but they failed the march test, and that is why they've moved to where they are, because they've got nothing else to do. Witches move up because I think they're going to get divine, they're just going to get shot off now, so I'd rather them take out some knights beforehand. I move the acolytes up because I want to blow up that Reiter because he's going to be really annoying, and I also want to maybe get a grave calls on the Potemobile or the big block of knights. I mean, the Reiter is one I want to destroy, but what happens is obviously if you can see, I've left the champ in the middle, so he can't actually see the Reiter, so that was another mistake. And then I just bring those Raptor Knights round on the left just to start to get back into the game. They're a bit slow is the problem with those Raptor Knights. And invariably you want them on the flanks. So I need a bit more practice with them, basically. Combat here, yeah, he doesn't manage to do a wound to each of these, and then there's one guy left. A bit annoying, I would have preferred just to finish him off this turn, but he'll be dead next turn, so it's not so bad. He's managed to take 3 wounds off the Divine Altar, which is quite good considering you had like 2 or 3 guys in the flank. So his turn 3, so he's going to make some charges here. Obviously he's going to charge the second Potemobile and his Halberd Knights into the Raptor Knights. He's going to just take the I think he knows, because he knows he can kill all those witches, he's just going to hope I'm not going to get rid of a lethal strike. And also what he can do now is, the reason I sent those witches forward is because I knew I could get the counter charge with the Tower Guard, which would be Tower Guard with lethal strike and already AP 1 strength 4 would be insanely good. But obviously you can move that single Reiter that I failed to deal with. It's going to move back and chaff it up. So it's all very good moves. He's making good decisions here. So there's his Halberd Knights getting to my Cold One Knights, Raptor Knights, and we'll see how that goes. And that's just a view of the battlefield. So I lose 2 Tower Guard to either shooting or magic. I don't think he really had a big magic phase this time. I think he got like reroll to wound or something on his knights again. Again, those witches are dead, so it makes no difference to me. Here, oh yes. So he actually gets quite a few buffs up on this actually. Ah, yes, so he actually got buffs up on this unit. Because I just couldn't, there's so many I just couldn't stop them. He kills, with the impact hits and everything, he kills 5. And then I kill 2 back and I lose by 5. So I'm on a 4. And the Sons of Guns manage to stick, which is fantastic. This could be game changing if I play smart. So the witches managed to take out 3. The problem here is that they literally did about 14, 15 wounds. And then like 2 were lethal strikes. Because they rolled like 8 poison wounds. So that was frustrating because I think I should have really killed an entire rank. But it is what it is. The witches particularly were going to get smashed in return. Yep, there it is. And then he's going to reform like so. So Dread Elf's turn 4. And this is where my stupidity gets me. So the Tower Guard charges Reiter just to get rid of him. And then for some reason I decided to charge my Medusa into the flank because my reason was just like, oh, I'll have a charge in a flank and probably get a wound. And then he'll just won't be able to kill her. Which means he's got a BSB, a banner and a rank. And he might win by musician, so I'll probably hold him up. But as we all know, those Medusas under the current, whatever you want to call it, are terrible. And I will never take one again. There's no point. Because Harpies are much better for 130 points. If you also notice that both my Warlock units, instead of... Why would I charge something in when I could just blast them with 2 breath weapons, which is on average going to kill 4 knights, which takes away quite a lot of them. And if I kill 4 knights of that unit now, there's that tower guard unit just mulches them, just absolutely mulches them. So yeah. The other thing I could have done is charge those Dark Raiders into the flank of that unit, because now they haven't got a charge, they've just got a banner. I could actually get a charge and a flank. On average, he kills one of them, but they kill one back. And the guys in front will probably get a kill. So I'd probably win that. And it means his altar won't be steadfast and will flee. Again, I miss it. So I move that Warlock just to chaff up, just in case the Medusa does not do her job. I mean, if she... The one thing that, at the very worst, I was thinking, well, if she loses combat, she'll run, and then he'll have to take a restraint test. We'll see how that works out. So that's what it looks like. It's looking very surrounded at this moment in time. This is where I think this is how MSU should work. I need to play test it a bit more because I'm not used to it. I'm used to having, obviously, my favourite list is big fast monsters and then lots of shooting support. I think I can make this work. Haha! He just kills her outright. He kills Medusa outright, even with distracting. The fact that it's only got 2 strength 4 attacks and 2 strength 3 attacks. He just kills her because she's rubbish. So I'm very disappointed with Medusa. I don't think she just has no role. There's just no role for her. She's not quite good enough to be chaff, but she's not quite good enough to be a chaff clearer. Because I was very tempted to, charge for writers with her, but there's no point because the standard shoot will kill her. Or reduce her to like 1 wound and then they'll kill her in combat. Yeah. This guy, however, just saves everything like a boss and holds on the Nate. Yeah. So his turn 4, he's going to move the Pope-mobile in front of the Tower Guard. He's going to charge the Dark Acolyte. I know I don't usually, I haven't really, I think for these battle reports to get slightly better, I should probably go through magic a bit more in depth. The reason I haven't really here is that he only really gets buffs up, and also I just forget. I'll remember next time to start writing stuff down. The thing about this magic phase, obviously, I just wanted to get Breath Weapon up on the chaffing Warlock, and he can just stop it easily. So there's not been much to do. And this is the problem with only having those 2 spells. Yeah, I guess it's good because obviously in a situation like this, they should be flipping awesome. If I'd actually got them into position to use those spells. But more importantly, like, it makes the magic phase so predictable, and because there's such short range on the spells, 12 inches and 8 inches, it's predictable where those Dark Acolytes have got to go. Anyway, so it makes the charge. The only thing, this is the one thing I feel my opponent, this is one mistake he made, not that it mattered anyway, because as you can tell he's clearly going to win this game, is that the Pope-mobile, I would have just charged into the Tower Guard anyway, because they're going to charge in anyway. You might as well have the impact hits. I don't know, I think maybe he wanted to try banishment. So that's how it looks, and yeah, he's surrounded, but he's surrounded by a lot of okay things. In combat, this guy, yes, this champion just stays alive again. It's great, and this is like Chai Hammer's Cooper at the moment, except for this guy's only got 2 up armor and 1 wound. Lol. Obviously the Dark Acolyte just gets punked. So turn 5, and this is where, again, so I charge the Raptor Knights and the Tower Guard into the Pope-mobile, because I've got my Assassin in there. If I don't kill it this turn, I know he's stubborn, but if I don't kill it this turn, I'll probably kill him next turn. As you can see, spoiler alert, I do 3 wounds in the first round of combat because he saves quite a lot of ward saves, but I'll kill him in the next one. And then I don't know what to do with these other knights, so I go, oh, well, I will he positioned them so everything could only front charge him. Now, there's several options I could do here. I could just charge the Divine Alternate by itself. I could chaff up with the Dark Raiders. Or I could do... So I could do either of those things are good choices, because the Divine Alternate by itself will have a charge and a flank, impact hits. The thing I mean, you can make way with a character. Or can they make way to the flank? Either way, I forgot that the character's there. But at least I have a charge and a flank, some strength 5 impact hits, and possibly maybe another wound. So there's a good chance I'll win that. What I do, though, is I charge him with everything else, which is just going to give static combat res. It's just one of those moments where I was just like, oh, let's charge everything in and see what happens. Glad I do, because I won't be doing that mistake again. Silly. Especially since that that Raptor Knight on my right-hand side is just holding out. He's been great. So that's the result. He beats everything, doesn't chase them down, but the overrun leads them straight into the Cold War Knights. Yeah. Right. So his turn 5, he's going to... There's not much to do, really. I think he finishes up the Raptor Knight on the right-hand side. He's going to beat the Raptor Knights here and then overrun. The thing I do like about those Raptor Knights is you rarely lose them to the man. They're not like elves. With a toughness 4 and 2 up armour, they are actually very resilient. So I do really like them about that. I think if you can... Certainly with this sort of MSU list, I would probably only take them in 5s and then lots of other stuff that's going to bring the low strength but high volume attacks and have that correlation. I kill the Potemobile, but then obviously he's going to run into the Tower Guard with his big unit. Yeah, and then it basically plays itself out for the last 2 turns. He can't really do anything with his other Potemobile and his other knights, and basically he kills all the Tower Guard, but my assassin's left, and the assassin kills his BSB. And that is the game. So it's a big win for him because he's still got a lot of points left on the board. I don't think we've really countered, but he's also got the secondary objective as a problem. So it's something that's probably going to be like an 18-2 or something like that, I think, because there's not much points left on the board for me at all. And he's basically got all his core. So, post-match thoughts. Right, let's go through this slide. So this, after that turn where those Raptor Knights held, this is not a bad position. What I can do here is I can either charge those Dark Raiders in to help them out, or obviously move them back around for... I mean, that's a risk. That's a risk. Let's be honest, that's a risk. But possibly could have won me the combat there. Anyway, what's more important here is that I've got 2 toxic breath weapons and 2d6 strength 5 attacks, and instead of just moving those round to... I mean, chaffing him up with a single one, I think, was the right idea, because I had to pin him in place. I mean, Medusa couldn't do it because she hasn't got enough movement and she's not flying, which is another reason why to take Harpies over her. But he can't stop all those spells, and if I get a toxic attack through on that unit goes down from... I kill 4 on average. I could roll poorly and kill 3, but I could roll really well and kill 5. And then that unit definitely can't touch those Tower Guard because they'll just mulch the unit. My assassin will kill his characters. By the way, assassin is actually worth a points investment now. With the 3 wounds and you get the Fort Warden distracted, yeah, they're actually very good. I would have still liked Hidden, because if we're going MSU, I think it's really good for guessing game, but this is not a bad position. Even though I lost my corsairs, but then he lost his chicken knight, so it sort of evened out. Obviously I managed to beat his flagellants and still have stuff left over from it. It's not a bad position. I should be doing much better in position, and this is where I think I don't feel like I've quite got the MSU style down, because obviously it's all predicated on the combo charges. But even if we looked further ahead, when I had surrounded his big night bus, I could have just chaffed them up with the Dark Raiders, tried to get a breath weapon or a grave calls off on him, and then kill the Potemobile and come back for them on my last turn. Charging everything was just stupid, but I think at that point I just, sometimes you just want to see what happens, because then next time you know not to do it. So it's great having a game again. Obviously I'm very rusty. Hats off to my opponent. He was very good. I think he hustled me a bit, because he said at the start, I went to a tournament the other day and I came second from last, when naturally he was very good. He knew what he was doing, this sort of stuff. So the only mistake he really made was not charging the Potemobile, I said, and that's not really that bad a mistake. It's just, I would have thought it would have been better to charge Tim, but I guess that's one of more of the subjective things. How do Dread Elves version 1.2 hold up? I think they're still good. I think the MSU is the way to go. I think, well, let's go through the units. Okay, Tower Guard is still great. Assassin is still great. Well, is now great. Raptor Knights are still very good, especially for points. 26 points a model. I just take them in units of 5 personally now, I think. Or 7. 7, yeah, maybe not 10. I don't feel like the 10. I feel like 5 to 7's fine. Yema Acolytes are good, but need other magic support. Just so that he needs something for combat, even if it's just one spell. Just so that you say, because if you've only got one combat burst, yes, of course they're going to stop it, but that means at least you could get the other spells off. The Divine Altar, I don't know. This matchup, it should have been amazing, but I played it poorly. 5-up ward against artillery is useless. I feel like they need to change that, because I feel like it's only really going to help when people have got 2 catapults or 2 volley guns. And in those situations anyway, 1, if you've got a big block of something, just deploy it 1 wide. And 2, you should have enough speed in a Dread Elf army that something's going to threaten those war machines, especially since now they're toughness 4. So as long as you've got some sort of shooting and magic missile, you can take them out first turn, or turn 2 at the most. So I don't think that's an important buff to have. The reroll charge ranges would have been nice, but with the MSU, I don't know. I think it's more playtest. The problem with that is that the Divine Altar is so slow that it's really hard to position it where it's going to be able to have an effect where you're going to need to because if it's in line with stuff, generally it's all going to be front charges against that one unit. There's only so many units you can fit into it. So, and if something's in the flank, it's going to be out of that range of that reroll charge ranges. So, I don't know if I like it or not. Needs more playtesting. The Divine Altar itself, it's too slow by itself. I don't like War Platform, because what unit would you put it in? As you can see, I put him at Tower Guard, but that was pointless, because it just takes up valuable attacks. Put it in Blades, again, takes up valuable attacks. The only things I put it in is Spears, probably. Spears or Sword and Board, a big block of 50 Sword and Board, because they're only 6 points a model. And obviously you go too wide, so that you just get a massive ranks and remain steadfast. But that's not really promoting MSU, because that block's going to be terrible to try and maneuver. So I'm not sold of it. I don't think it's a requisite for certainly this list I bought today. I certainly could have found the 340 points somewhere else to spend on. That's 2 bolt throwers, which would have been quite handy here. Medusa, let's not get into it. If you want to know about the Medusa, go on the forums. All I would say is this: it's 5 harpies is much better. I don't know, apart from the Dagger of Morek, that if I spent the points elsewhere, it would be money well spent, basically. Do you know what? I might keep on keeping her in until I can use her properly, but as it is, I just don't rate her at all. Anyway, enough talk. Hope you enjoyed the battle report and a bit of the analysis. Version 1.2 seems pretty good. I do like the 4,500 points. It makes your units that you actually deploy much, everything's worth more. You have to make more harder choices when you list building, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Certainly I think for MSU it's actually quite a good thing. But I just like MSU anyway. I think it's probably going to be, the next list I'm going to build is just literally going to be like minimum size use of anything and everything, and see how that goes. Anyway, that's enough talk. Let me know what you think of the report. As always, it's always great to get comments and see what other people think. Have you played a game with 1.2 Dread Elves yet? What are your initial thoughts? Things like that. Hopefully I should maybe get a game this Friday. If not, it'll be next weekend, and I'll get another one up. Hopefully by then I will have got some of my chaos painted, because it looks much better when the battle reports are fully painted armies, let's be honest. And with certainly I don't know how many people are doing battle reports for Dread Elves at the moment, so I know the community it'd be quite helpful to have a lot of the version 1.2, and I know Warriors already have Tuna Sandwich Fire who covers them, so I probably might keep with the Dread Elves for a little bit. Anyway, that's enough from me. As always, comment, and if you like it, you can like it. If not, don't worry about it. Anyway, we'll see you for next one. Okay, bye.